Yeah, I might or might not have, instead of changing the layout to the live layout, I might have again. It's so tempting. I have a shortcut to go live and offline. And it's just so convenient to just press this shortcut, even though the shortcut does not change.
Stop talking. Go live.
No, we're live.
And go live with the show. Do the
Hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast, where I might keep him on about random drivel.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
And after a slight, totally not happening to my incompetence, technical errors and other technical errors, which brings us to actually hearing the voice of the one and only JimFear through Discord today, because he and Skype just initiated a deadly vendetta. Hello and welcome to the show, Jim.
Breakup. Thanks for having me on.
Sounded
it's good to be here.
Oh, absolutely. It has been a few years since we have been talking, so in this context, please, for me, for the audience, for anybody, who are you, what do you do, and why should people care?
Well, whether or not they should care is kind of up to them, but I'm an independent voice actor, and I do audiobooks pretty much. I also have a website where I make commentary on, like, RPGs, video games, music, movies, that kind of stuff. Just whatever comes into my head to talk about, I'll just write for interminable lengths of time. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm working on an audiobook right now that hopefully will be out by the end of the year, but we'll see. Technical difficulties may occur. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Since I recall that you are a connoisseur of certain genres over others, what type of audiobook is this, and what other kind of genres do people probably find on your page?
I mostly do horror and sci-fi and fantasy. I've done a couple of books in the Catherine Kimbridge Chronicles. That whole series is done by a bunch of different narrators, though, so I think I did books 6, 7, and 8 in that one. I've done the first book. God, I can't remember the name of the series right now. Glimmervale, that's it. I've done the first book in the Glimmervale series. The one I'm working on now is Queen's Heir. It's kind of a historical fantasy set in the Bronze Age, in the Fertile Crescent kind of area, like that Mediterranean area. And it's a really good book. It's called Queen's Heir, if anybody wants to go on Amazon and pick it up, by James Boyle. Yeah, that's basically my three genres right there, is horror, sci-fi, and fantasy.
Well, and I will put a link to your website in the description down below, so people can keep their eyes peeled on past and future projects.
Appreciate it.
Can I pay you to read the phone book?
Yes.
Good to know. Anyway, what's been going on in your life, Jim? Any fun stories you'd like to share?
Not a whole lot. Me and my brother moved out, and we've got a place now. It's going pretty well. He just got married. That was awesome. It was great seeing, basically the whole family again. That's been fun. They're in Florida right now. I'm watching their house for them.
They're nice. In Florida, but I thought they wanted to have fun.
Well, they went to like, I think Universal or Disney World or something like that. One of those theme parks down there. I don't remember which one.
One of the safe hubs away from the crazy bath salt people.
Yeah, pretty much. Although you're in Florida, there's always a risk of Florida man.
Florida man.
That is Florida man. That is very true. We need guests to have stuff happening in their lives.
I know. If we want to have people who don't have stuff happening in their lives, then we can just talk about ourselves. Keyframe, what's going on in your life?
No, I'm just saying to the audience, we actually, like, when we started this year's season of the podcast, Max said, we should just make sure that the guest has stuff to say, so that way we aren't concerned with, if we have stuff going on. So we should just focus on what's going on in the guests' lives.
I mean,
too bad a lot of our guests don't have things going on.
I know, right? I mean,
I'm a very boring person.
I mean, in the worst case,
Same.
you can talk about your recent struggles and epic try to defeat Skype 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, that was weird. I have no idea what's going on. I guess Skype doesn't love me anymore for some reason. I tried to find it on my computer. The program somehow deleted itself. I had that same problem with GIMP.
How? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, I would install like GIMP once every couple of months because I needed to edit a picture or something, and it would just like not be there anymore. And I don't know how that happens.
This doesn't sound. Jim, are you by any chance familiar with the SPC series?
The SCP Foundation?
Yeah, SCP. Yeah. I'm currently going down the rabbit hole, and I'm like a computer that deletes programs occasionally. This sounds like a very low-level SPC to me.
Yeah, I might have
That's
to call
not low level. That's just underground by low level. That's just a computer virus.
Yeah, I don't think it's dangerous. I think it's just annoying.
It's not an SCP. It's an S. It's a S.
Just the first letter.
Okay, which one of us had the more eventful week?
Trying to remember everything.
See, if you're doing that, that means that you don't have one.
Probably not. I mean, I spent.
We didn't even watch things when we did our binge watch thing on Monday. We didn't watch anything. We just had a conversation for an hour.
I know, it was disgusting.
I know, but. I mean, I do have a story, so it may be interesting.
Please, go ahead.
Not about Monday, just in general of my week.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay. But no, I guess I'll go. Maybe
you'll
remember if you did anything.
You are loud on Skype, on Discord, by the way.
Fine. How about now? Is
it
better?
Now you're really quiet.
Okay, that's over the top,
okay.
But you were...
Better?
That sounds good. Okay. No, you were just, when you started talking enthusiastically, you started clipping a little bit.
Oh, well, okay, I'll just talk depressingly.
Exactly. Don't have any joy.
No. Yeah, so, hi. The reason why I'm utterly exhausted today is not what you think. The other day, that being yesterday, I actually went down to Los Angeles. I went out of the house into the world. I know, disgusting. And I went to hang out with him. I know, very spooky.
It's like October.
I went down to see the lovely Abbey Roadie to spend a day of fun and adventure, aka helping clear out her garage for her move, which was actually kind of interesting because I got to see every single sketchbook she's owned since high school. This woman is a hoarder. I found like 50 sketchbooks, and some of them only had like 2 pages of drawings in them. And we're talking about the big ones that are like from up here down to my floor, like the college ones that are like the giant ones that people carry. And I'm like, you don't need to keep these. We have scanners for a reason.
So
you
wasteful.
have the Amazon forest in your box.
Yeah, that's so wasteful.
I know, but
I'm the exact same way. I've got like so many notebooks just laying around my room, and I'm like, oh, I've started dungeon mastering like within the past couple of years, and I'll just like, this would be a cool idea for a campaign, or this would be a neat idea for a dungeon, and I'll just like pick a notebook and write it down, and then like toss it over my shoulder and set it on the shelf, and then never go back to it. So there's like 4 notebooks over there with 2 pages of information, and I have no idea what any of it is anymore.
Yeah, but like, so the interesting anecdotes from all that was people discovered that if I'm around certain objects, I will just put them on my body and not acknowledge it. For example, like, okay, to explain, we were like, we would just go through things and there would be like a thing of headbands or something or hats, and I just would put on the hat and continue working. Her brother had like some old toys from when they were a kid, because this was like the back of the garage, and one of them was like one of those cheap night vision goggle sets, and I just kept it on for like 45 minutes until I kind of forgot that I was wearing them. And then when I finally took them off, everything stopped looking green, and I was like, oh. But long story short, I now own a horse.
Because the giant duck in your room was not taking up enough space yet.
Yes. So, yeah, Lauren had this horse from her childhood. It's a giant fucking horse. It can't fit on camera.
It's like a damn
if
state
I
fair
maybe,
prize.
Yeah, like, there we go. Hi there. And she was just like, her and her dad was like, hey, Chrissy, you want to take home a horse? And what is a Chrissy response? If there ever was one, then yes.
You fucking brony.
I thought you were talking about like an actual horse. I was like, what the hell are you doing with a horse in Southern California?
Honestly, though, I think some people have known me long enough that I probably wouldn't say no to that either.
God, I'm feeling so bad for Golden and Kichi. One day they come home and it's like, Chrissy, it smells weird in here, like stable and horse poop. And you are like, guys, I have to tell you something.
Got a horse. Wait, how would I get the horse upstairs? We live in an upstairs apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking up the stairs.
That's a very chill horse. And then, you know, besides that, I played with her dog. Her dog snores like an actual man. And this
Well,
this is
nobody
the best
can
dog.
claim that Lauren doesn't have a man in her life anymore.
Yeah,
it's a dog.
she has a dog named Phelps, an 11-year-old Royal Charles Spaniel.
An older gentleman.
Yeah, birds of the same feather, she and I. But like, the thing is, I don't know what it is about this dog, but I find him fascinating. 'Cause he doesn't blink. No, apparently that's a thing
Sure
with...
it's alive?
Yes, I'm sure it's alive, because it barks enough to prove that it's alive. But the thing is, I think that they said this was something with the breed of dog, of the Royal Charles Spaniels, is that they really like eye contact, so they will stare at you. And the thing was, it lied down because it wanted us to go to it instead of it coming to us for pets. Because dogs are like that sometimes. And it just kept staring until it fell asleep. Like, it would just stare until its eyes were just going like starting to fall asleep while staring at you, and then you just start hearing the loud ass man snores. It's like, I love this dog.
Another great example of why humans should not play God.
Yeah,
probably not.
You get man snore, the dog.
Yeah,
but that was.
I mean, they also create a dog breed which is very small and weak, but at the same time has a very provocative behavior, because staring means aggressive behavior for other dogs. They are so full of themselves that they're like, come here and pet me.
Yeah, the thing is, that dog tries to act cool. Its leg falls asleep so much, and it starts like wobbling when it's walking. And I did see it miss a staircase step on its way up the stairs to get back into the house, of like a 3-step stoop, and it was like it was like walking, and then slipped down because it missed the first step. I love dogs.
The more inbred, the better.
Oh, yeah. No. to get mutts. Mutts are better, but like...
Yeah, mutts are better. Far fewer health problems.
Far fewer health problems. Plus, you get a best of both worlds of many of dogs. Because they are all good boys, so you get like the ultimate good boy. This is the sound logic of a professor.
You just want to breed every existing dog with what's the ones again with the stubby legs? Like
what, a basset hound?
No, like Ein from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, a corgi.
Yeah, you just want to
corgis.
breed everything with a corgi because it looks funny.
I don't want to breed everything with a corgi because it looks funny. I want to
But it
breed
does.
everything with a corgi
It-
because it looks hilarious. They look like
Ah.
human Photoshop failures. It's fantastic. If anyone ever wants to spend a good 20 minutes of their life, just Google corgi mix, like blank dog breed corgi mix. They look fake, but they are absolutely real.
Wait,
They
Yeah, I've
have
seen
a
a couple of those.
corgi's
They do
body,
look
but a
fake.
normal-sized head.
Okay, what do we have here? This is like a golden retriever corgi. It still looks very golden.
Look up husky corgi mix.
Okay, corgi
That's the one.
husky mix.
Oh,
Oh
look
no!
at that thing!
Oh
it looks
no!
so wrong! It looks so wrong! I love it!
Okay. Saint Bernard.
Oh, I really hope the mom
Oh.
was the Saint Bernard.
Oh,
It's like the joke from Clone High when Gandhi's high and sees the hummingbird donkey unicorn thing, and it's like a donkey and a hummingbird doing it. I hope your mom was the. I hope your mom wasn't the hummingbird.
oh God damn it!
And they look so wrong.
That show really should have got more than one season.
I
really
I
should.
took Jim away and got the picture.
There we go. But no, yeah, that show, Clone High, should have gotten more than one season. One day we'll
was.
get it.
It was brilliant, man. And like Abandoned Pools, they're the band that did the music for it. They're such a good band. They've got like 4 or 5 albums out. I highly recommend anybody in the audience, if you like 90s alternative rock, Abandoned Pools is amazing.
Abandoned
Yeah.
pools.
Yeah. They're the one that sang the Clone High theme and basically did most of the music for the show.
Yeah, I think they might have had a couple of songs that weren't written by them, but it was like one of those Cowboy Bebop type things where like Yoko Kanno did all the music for Cowboy Bebop. They just hired Abandoned Pools to do the music for Clone High.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it reeks early 2000s MTV era, but it has a charm.
But yeah.
Yeah, besides going on adventures with Lauren and going to see Addams Family, which I'll talk about in my media, which is kind of why I wanted to be last to transfer to the media. Thanks, Max.
Well, it happens.
Yeah. What happened in your life?
What happened in my life? Mostly work, Batman Arkham City, and, well, as I mentioned before, the SCP Foundation. I found a YouTube channel who does like exploring the SPD Foundation. It goes through a bunch of noteworthy examples and people and foundations, but I'm not there yet, so I'm not going to do it as my media this week, especially since I have another one that's more fresh in my mind. Yeah.
Oh no, I just wanted to say to add to that.
Oh, you want to add to that? Please add to that.
No, not to add to it, but because it kind of fits in the same vein. I remembered one other thing that happened this week. I scared the shit out of one of my friends because Chrissy has a very irresponsible search history on the internet. This is no one should look at my search history. They would
I
get
have
very concerned.
seen your like list on Fur Affinity.
You're making that sound a lot worse than what it actually is, and you know it. And we are not having this conversation in public, and not in front of Jim. Shut up! But no, or your skull is going to be one of them on Jim's armor. No, I love looking up cursed videos. And not just cursed as in, like cursed food and stuff like that, where it's just totally not satisfying. Cursed as in, you think that these things may be snuff films, like creepy stuff. I like horror. As weird as it may seem, given that I look like the embodiment of Tumblr aesthetic girl.
And you have a giant plush horse now.
And excuse me, I also have a tiny hand-knit Charmander. But besides that, I love psychological horror. But one of the where did Charmander go? Oh, he landed on the horse. Okay, but no. But no, I love looking up creepypasta and stuff like that just to see which ones are shitty and which ones are good. And I found something called, like, I think it's called, like, soup.mp4, and it's just this guy eating soup while crying, and there's, like, these two weird giant costume characters. And I found it while, like, screen sharing my just me looking up YouTube videos in a call with, like, Chris, Michael, and a bunch of people, and they're just like, and I don't keep my audio on when I'm watching these things, so they're just seeing silent soup man. And
Do you have a link?
they're just like, do you really want it? Okay,
I mean,
hold
while
on.
you're talking about it, I can just also show it.
Soup.mp4. Oh god, it's the thumbnail is fantastic on its own. Oh, I'm putting it in Skype.
Okay. What? Hope this might be loud. Okay, sharing this beauty.
Oh yeah, I mean, all you'll hear is heavy breathing and this guy crying while eating soup. But yeah, it's just this 2-minute long video of this guy crying and eating soup while these creepy Japanese costume characters are like over him. And I needed to find out more because this had to be like something else. And I kept...
Yeah, are we sure? Like, I'm watching it on the stream right now because ANY is playing it, and are we dead certain this isn't a snuff film?
Here's the thing!
Like the
It
Prelude to a
goes
snuff film.
deeper, because there's a second video!
Like, there's a guy right behind that door with a gun or something.
Well, no, the thing was... Okay, let me explain soup.mp4. The thing is that there was like this... It's also called torture soup.
Oh
That's
god,
great.
there's more of them.
No, there's like only one more, and then people, like some people thought this was from like the deep web and shit like that. And the story is like those two costumes are like mascot characters for something in... Oh yeah, this is the other video. And this was the video I think that creeped out my friend Michael, and I heard him scream because of what happens at the end of it. It's not gory. We're not gonna get banned off Twitch.
Okay, good, because I don't want to...
Twitch is fine with gore, just not with titties.
But no, yeah, it's going to happen really soon. It's just like... Because this is in silence, and I turned on the audio for this one because they were getting curious. So they were just hearing, you know, Soup Man.
Eating soup.
And then... Yeah, that, and then Michael just screamed at the top of his lungs, just like, I don't like that. But no, the story behind it is that those two mascot characters are apparently like some kind of Japanese, Korean cartoon character, and the person who owned them was someone who voiced the sloth guy in Zootopia.
Oh.
And he was like at a club in Sunset Boulevard, and he owned those two costumes, and someone stole them from him, and then he just got emailed that video like the next night.
That is... What the hell?
Okay, I think the lesson we can learn from this is we should just let Chrissy look up stuff on the internet, because that is one of the best things I've ever brought to the podcast.
But yeah, thank you for your media. I guess I continue.
No, but do you have... Look, SCP brought that up because that felt like some kind of SCP of just creepy soup people.
Yeah, that is.
But did you have
really,
anything else
really
interesting, or can you not top creepy soup man?
No, as I said, my life recently was like mostly like chilling.
Did you go to the cinema?
No, I did not go to the cinema. My media is something else.
Oh, so, do you want to take the floor, or should we give it...
Oh, I can take the floor, sure.
Take the floor.
Take the floor.
Just not from under us, or we'll fall and die.
No, my media is, as it has become a thing recently, because I don't take my bike to work anymore, because I'm a pussy, and the weather is cold outside, and I don't want to get sick.
You take the train.
So I take the train. What do I do on the train? By now you all know it.
You listen to audiobooks.
That is true, and I finished another one this week, which was
by JimFear.
so good that I actually continued listening to it even often. I came home and I was like, I could take off my headphones, but maybe I can find an excuse to continue listening to it because I really fucking want to know how it continues. So, this week I finished Will Serve the Galaxy for Food by Yazi Krocek, the guy from Zero Punctuation. And
he's got a new book out. That's cool.
He got the sequel to this one out just now. So this was one of his earlier books. I am not sure which. I mean, if you scroll down, you see that he has at least 2 other books. Mock World, which is basically a World of Warcraft thingamajig, which I haven't listened to yet, so I don't know. But
Mogworld is actually good. I have Mogworld and Jam. I haven't gotten around to Jam yet, but Mogworld is actually a pretty damn good book. It's like the they're shutting down this video game, and the characters inside the video game become sentient and are trying to work out what's going on while their world is going crazy. And they're seeing like these angelic figures show up in the world and just like delete huge swaths of the landscape and delete people. And yeah, it's a really wild book, the way that he conceptualized, like, if a video game character became sentient, like a World of Warcraft character, like, you know, the quest giver in town, the guy with the golden exclamation point above his head. If that guy became sentient, what would his life be like? And how would he deal with it if the game was getting shut down?
As somebody who very much enjoyed, at least what I watched back in the day of Log Horizon, this sounds like an interesting thing. But yeah,
we'll save the world for food.
Exactly, but the difference I wanted to point out is why Mock World, as far as I have been told, is playing very close homage to World of Warcraft.
It is.
Yeah. Will Save the Galaxy for Food is actually a completely fresh IP. It's sci-fi, as maybe the spaceships in the background and the entire get-up of the video of the title image hints at. What's it called? It's a cover. It's a cover art. That's what it's called. No, but here's the thing. What I really like about it. It's first of all, it's a very, as I said, completely new, unique IP. So you don't have to have any formal knowledge about any specific sci-fi universe to completely enjoy this. You need to have a certain understanding or feeling for sci-fi related tropes, because this is beautifully trope-tastic, but completely self-aware in it. I mean, as a starting point, so the main character is basically a space pilot, and space pilots are just super cliche heroes. It's like, back in the Golden Age, it was like a space pirate comes down to a primitive planet and saves the civilization, and maybe they go local a bit and become the king for a while. So they kind of mark this like larger-than-life hero cliche of which often, especially in older, campier sci-fi, is a thing, but as something in the past. Once again, the protagonist itself is a former space pilot, so he's kind of new technology kind of made space piloting irrelevant. So he's looking at hard times and wishing back the golden days and so stuff like this. But from here he gets involved in stuff and shenanigans ensue, and at the same time it has an intrigue. It has a story that can stand on their own feet. It's not just about exploring the universe and having fun with the tropes or something. No, there is an actual cohesive, well-structured story going on. And what I would compare it to is Cabin in the Woods. Like, it's being very
of course, that's what. Of course,
now you know why I like it.
Yeah.
Because it's, on the one hand, it's a critique of its own genre, like a very tongue-in-cheek approach to the genre, being very self-aware, playing with tropes massively, but on the other hand, being an entry into the genre itself, because this is, while a comedy and while marking certain tropes, it is a valid, capable of standing on its own 2 feet sci-fi story. So it's this kind of love letter with this twinkle in the eye, and it has also just the characters are a very small cast, but a very intriguing cast. They even have a very endearing teenage character, believe it or not. One of the two. The other one is as one note as it gets. But
Yay.
yay, complete one note the one. But the other one is like really like, this is like such a proper reaction to things. So this is a nice character. That's actually like likable. So yeah, I would once again recommend it. Basically, I would say to anybody, because it has nothing really where I'm like, oh, that might not sit well with anybody, a certain group of people. Obviously, you should have a certain knowledge of sci-fi, because otherwise a lot of those, or the history and older tropes and cliches, so that otherwise a lot of the jokes or the funny aspects would probably go over your head. But besides that, it's funny. So if you like fun, you should check it out. It has a good story. So if you like stories, you should check it out. Unless you have a complete aversion against sci-fi and cannot even laugh at it, you should check it out. It's good.
Space, gross.
I
Ew.
know, right? Disgusting.
I like that you like this thing so much you can't think of who wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if you like books like that, you should look up an author called Diana Wynne Jones. She's more of a fantasist, but she's like an actual fantasist in the sense that her stories read more like fairy tales. I know you've heard of Howl's Moving Castle, right?
Yes. Oh, she was the original.
She's the author behind the book that's behind the Studio Ghibli movie. But Dark Lord of Dirkholm is probably one of her best books. It's right up there with Howl's, and it's got this kind of like critique of the fantasy genre in it, because it's like isekai before isekai was a genre, but the main protagonist of the book isn't from another world. Like the plot of the book is there is this fantasy world in which they have like magic and all of that stuff, goblins, whatever.
What's the name again?
I'll type it in the chat.
Or like this, yeah.
Oh, it's gonna make me log in. Let's see if I remember my Twitch password. But yeah, the basic plot of the book is well, apparently that's not the right password. There is this fantasy world that these people live in, and somebody from what's heavily implied to be our world decides that they're not they are able to get to this fantasy world, and they decide that they're going to exploit it as a vacation spot for rich for rich people in their world. So they're able to bring people here, and they basically enslave this entire planet into being a fantasy story. Like with wizards must have beards. That is the law. You have to, if you're playing a wizard, you have to have a beard. And they'll take people from our world dressed up as heroes through all of these all of these. Yeah, it's kind of like Konosuba. That's the genre that I'm kind of playing in, but this is from like the perspective of the people in the world that the guy goes to, because nobody who comes to this world is a main character in the novel.
I would really like to show something about it, but I mean, you can.
Hey, here, I'll type it. I'll type it in Discord.
Okay, perfect. Then I can use it from there.
There you go.
There we go.
And they bring these people on your standard fantasy trip. Like, the people who are coming to the world get to be the big damn heroes. They dress up as fighters, magic users, clerics, all of that, and they run through and they fight monsters which don't die. They just get up and wait for the next group of people to come through. It's like a theme park. This entire planet has been turned into a theme park, and they draw a lottery to see who is going to be it's like an oracular thing. They have these oracles out in the desert, and they're like, who's going to be the next, the next Dark Lord, the next big that's it. That's the book.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the next antagonist of the novel? And they're like, well, the next person that you see is going to be the big Dark Lord. And at that moment, when they're leaving the Oracle's tent, they see another guy who's the main character of the book, and he's a magical scientist. Like, he invented griffins. Griffins did not exist in this world until this guy created them. And the griffins are like pissy teenagers. And the Oracle's like, the next person you see is going to be the Dark Lord. And they walk out and they see this dude, and they're like, guess what, dude? You're doing it, Dirk. It's your job. And the whole book is about him desperately trying not to screw this up. And over the course of the novel, they're trying to find a way to get the guy who's doing all of this, who's running the whole vacation spot thing. He has a demon in his pocket, and that's how he's able to get to this world and control everybody. And they're trying to figure out a way to get these people to essentially just leave them alone, because it's really annoying having all these tourists show up and act like you're a monster or a townsperson, like your standard murder hobo in D&D. They walk into town and they stab the first person they see because he has gold on him or whatever.
It reminds me a little bit of Westworld, but fantasy.
Yeah, it's kind of got a Westworld vibe to it.
Or
that's
probably
a very apt comparison.
Or probably this is maybe the inspiration for Westworld. I mean,
it might be. I don't know. I haven't delved into Westworld too much.
I mean, Westworld, at least... Oh, wait. Westworld, actually, the series is based on the movie, and the movie is actually from the 80s. So now it's up in the air again who was first.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this book came out, but... I mean, I have it right over there, but I'm not going to go and grab it. I'm not going to walk away from the show so I can get... Oh, this book came out in... it's not that important. People can look it up if they want to know. But yeah, it's a really good book. All of her work is really great.
1998.
98? Okay,
Yep.
Then I guess maybe she got the idea from Westworld and just wanted to do a fantasy thing with it.
But either way, it does sound intriguing. Does this? By the way, is this now your media, or did you also bring a different media to the show?
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to bring a media, but yeah, we can just use that.
Well, this was.
Well, there we go.
I mean, I've been getting really into RPGs, and I can talk about that for hours.
Maybe
we don't have hours.
I just want to say maybe not literal hours. But yeah, anybody who you would recommend it to or tell not to read The Dark Lord of Delcorn?
If you really like fantasy and like fairy tale style, like if anybody's ever read Lord Dunsany, her stuff is like an updated, like Lord Dunsany a century later, like King of Elfland's Daughter or something like that. But she takes a more modern approach to it. Like there might be a little bit of a critique of capitalism in there, but if you don't mind that kind of thing, or if you can just like set aside the author's politics and just enjoy the story, it's just a really good, heartwarming kind of, I don't know if you would call it an adventure story, but if you like fantasy, if you like really well fleshed out protagonists, because there are no real one-note characters in this book. Everyone has a well fleshed out personality. It feels like real people. You know what I mean? This woman is an amazing author. She's one of my favorite fantasy authors. And I've only read 2 of her books. So
that is definitely an endorsement.
Yeah, so I mean, if you just hate fantasy, then you probably won't enjoy it too much. But other than that, I would recommend it for just about anyone.
What is this nonsense? So, on Audible, they acknowledge Darkholm as a series.
Mm-hmm.
However, they only have book 2 from the series, Year of the Griffin.
That's really weird.
That is stupid.
It's like when Netflix only has like.
Yeah, this is some This is some Netflix shit, but not some Audible stuff. Hello.
Is someone's phone vibrating against
No,
their
this
desk?
is my computer. It's currently melting. I don't know why.
Oh, I guess it can't handle Skype and Discord at once. Who knew?
Maybe not.
Who knew that a thing called the monolith is going to melt because of 2 communication software?
I know.
Somebody's
right?
been playing Stalker.
Is it my turn?
I guess it is. So, what might you have brought to the show which you already told us and the entire audience?
Da-da-da-da. I went to the Addams family. Oh man, I can't wait to talk about this. First of all, I need to just
Oh, the
set
new movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I need to
Okay.
set. I need to set the stage for this, because we went to a theater that was down in Pasadena where Lauren lives, and it was a small cozy theater, and the great thing about it is no fucking commercials. It was no commercials, only like 3 trailers straight to the movie. It's fucking
Nice.
great. But the thing is, there was like an announcer person that told you the things of like, the emergency exits are here. Please turn off your phones. Like an actual person. Won't lie, I felt like I was getting ready to go on the Tower of Terror when they buckle you in and be like, and have a great stay. I was just like, are we at Disney?
Pretty cool. It sounds like an old school movie theater, man.
Yeah, it was really nice. But the movie, no.
Not
Gotta
out in
further
Ge-
set up this.
Not out in Germany
No.
yet.
I know, but but it's good. But no, let me further set this up with the 3 trailers I got. We got 1 good trailer and 2 fucking awful ones. One was for Spies in Disguise, the movie of the year.
Yeah.
Not Endgame, not Joker, not anything.
When is it
Fucking
coming out?
Spies in Disguise. December 25th.
Nice.
It's a fucking Christmas movie.
Oh, I
and
need to.
let me just
I'm
say,
looking so forward
every
to this.
every trailer that comes out, I unironically want to see the movie more and more.
Hey,
It looks like so much fun, and it looks like he's not going to be a pigeon throughout the entire thing.
Jim, do you have any idea what Spies in Disguise is about?
I've never heard of this before.
Oh, so it is. So it is about. Wait, come. Let's just play the trailer. Whoops. So there is
It's
this
a Blue Sky movie.
Yeah, this Blue Sky movie. There is this spy character who is played by Will Smith.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So we all
Now
do
I'm
good stuff.
intrigued.
There's Will Smith, CGI, but there you see him. Look at this boy. Look at this boy, and he's like a super
And he's
spy.
he's one of the best spies. He's
Bam.
super cool.
Look,
Oh,
doesn't
I
look at
recognize
explosions,
this.
all the good
I
stuff.
recognize this animation style.
Yeah, it's
I can't
Blue
place
Sky,
it.
the people who made like Rio and Robots and
Yeah. And now,
Oh,
First
okay.
Ice Age.
yeah, and now let's see. Now let's go to the important part. What do they do with him?
Come on. They made him into a pigeon! Tom Holland made him into a pigeon. So Spider-Man turned Will Smith into a pigeon, and it's great.
This
Because
does look
pigeons
pretty
are
funny.
because pigeons are everywhere, so he gets to hide in plain sight.
But yeah, do you need to know more about this movie to want to see it?
Oh, it looks so fun. And then after that though, we got a fucking trailer for this movie called Arctic Dogs, which was a 2-minute trailer, where a whole minute of it was just listing the celebrities that are in the movie.
Good God, just like show
You
me
know-
something.
Like it was like that fucking compilation thing someone put on Twitter of all the celebrity credits that you see in so many bad kids movie trailers, but unironically. And then a fucking movie called Playing with Fire, that is like a live action movie with John Cena, where it's just another example of we had fucking Kindergarten Cop back in the 90s, and yet no one realizes we don't need another one of these movies. We have one that fills the because every fucking year it seems like there's always that movie where it's like, here's this buff action guy, he doesn't know how to raise children. I feel like we've gotten that movie like 40 million times over the past 20 years. And I don't know who keeps going to see them that they justify making more.
And I believe only one of them has a rock.
Yeah, one of them
Yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
has
The Rock did have Let me rewrite that.
The-
The pacifier.
yeah.
That was a.
Yeah, the pacifier. No, the pacifier was
Thank you,
Vin
Danica.
Diesel. What does
Oh,
it say
wait.
that we can't differentiate these movies? No,
But
no.
I'm
but
pretty
to-
sure
but then
there must
finally,
be one with The Rock.
there is one.
It says
the
that I
Tooth Fairy?
don't watch them. I don't
But,
think I've
like-
even seen Kindergarten Cop.
Shame.
I
But
know.
no,
I've seen like every other
the-
Arnold movie.
But no. And then finally after that, we got the Addams Family, which I think I like more than the live-action Addams Family movies from the 90s, which everyone was fucking hating on this movie because it's different than the ones from the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Don't-
like Raul Julia is dead. He can't play Gomez anymore. Like,
Exactly. Everyone's complaining that Gomez isn't hot, and then people don't fucking realize the 90s Addams Family movies aren't the original Addams Families. People forget that the Addams Families started as New Yorker cartoons from the goddamn 1940s. And that they've had like 5 different series beforehand. 2 of them were maybe 3 were animated, and it's just like, you know, it's based more off of the original Addams Family, like the 1960s Addams Family, and completely utilize the fact they're cartoons to do the weird, kooky shit that they do.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it. And it's so nice to see a fucking animated movie where the characters look disgusting on purpose.
yeah, because they're meant to be. The Addams Family is meant to be like really, really creepy, and they're like supposed to be the inversion of the nuclear family, where everything they do is contrary to what, you know, normal people would do, and they take great pleasure in being very, very weird. That's like the entire point of the series. But I mean, they're still like a loving family, you know.
I mean, have you ever listened to the intro song?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's like
and the cookie.
the Addams Family. But no, like one of the establishing scenes in the movie, one of the first scenes in the movie is Morticia putting on makeup that is her mom and dad's ashes.
That's dark.
I know, I love it, and there's just so many fantastic things about this movie. The cast is amazing. Oscar Isaac plays one of the fucking best Gomez's. Like, they all just sound so... Because they are played by celebrities, but they all fit. And they sound so naturally as the character. Surprisingly, so did Finn Wolfhard, who plays Pugsley, who is known for Stranger Things.
He's one of the Stranger Things kids?
Yeah, he's the curly-haired one.
Okay, I don't watch Stranger Things. I know that's probably
he's
like
also the one that everyone's
nowadays,
like, it's young Danny from Game Grumps. But like, he plays Pugsley, and I was just kind of like, and I was kind of worried that he would sound too old, but it fits. Like, it was actually good casting. And Nick Kroll is Uncle Fester, and I don't believe they gave Nick Kroll a script. I feel like they gave him an outline of what's supposed to happen, and they were like, have fun. Because he made a fucking Viagra joke in the movie. It worked, and I don't like it that it did, because he said it to Pugsley. But, like, and they totally embrace the fact that characters are creepy. Like, and they say creepy and macabre shit. There's, like, scenes where they're actively trying to kill each other, or shoot each other with a crossbow. There's just a scene where Morticia is just putting Gomez's head in a vice grip and tightening it.
Yeah,
and
they
he's
used to
just
do
asking.
that in the old show all the time.
Yeah,
Like
and
the
he
black
was
and white
asking,
one?
can you tighten it harder? Fucking one of my favorite visual gags in the movie is that when Morticia gets shocked, she doesn't lose color at her face, she gains it, and then a vampire bat comes in and sucks all the blood out of her face. It totally utilizes the fact that it's animated, which
That's
I'm
awesome.
so happy. And then I've heard people complain that all the characters look ugly and freakish, even the characters like in the town that they're by. And it's like the whole point is that everyone is a freak. The Addams just embrace it.
Yeah.
Which I think that's what I could say about the movie. It takes a very conventional trope of we're not so different, you and I, you know, a normal kids family movie thing, but just does it in the most Addams Family way possible.
That's
And
great.
it
Now I wanna
utilizes
see
stuff.
this.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It utilizes stuff from the Family Values plots and the original show, and it's such a good mix. There's one joke in that movie, though, that I laughed from beginning to end, and I don't know if I should feel ashamed that I laughed at it.
You probably
and it was,
should.
No, okay, well, let me just say, this joke will only make sense if you know who's playing the character. But, like, so Snoop Dogg is in the movie, and he plays Cousin It, the little furball thing. But, so, how do they introduce Cousin It? Halfway through the movie, he's driving a fucking Beamer while Drop It Like It's Hot is playing in the background. And he comes out, he's wearing pimp shoes, has a pimp cane, and walks in, and then you realize all of Cousin It's lines are just him doing the skibbity dibbity like Snoop Dogg voice, and then they put it in reverse. You don't understand a fucking word he says the entire movie, and it's great. It's kind of like getting Neil Patrick Harris to play the monkey in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, as in, why did they get a celebrity for this?
I mean,
but I laugh. But
didn't South Park literally cast George Clooney as a gay dog?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
boy.
That did happen.
So I just love casting choices like that. And then you got like Elsie Fisher from 8th grade playing like Wednesday's friend, and it's just all so fucking good. And I don't get and so many people are hating on this movie for such surface level reasons. Like, just being like, oh, it's not like the 90s movie, Gomez isn't hot, and all this stuff. And it's just like, when did people start hating cartoons? When did people started hating fun? I can
understand being disappointed that they're making a movie when Raul Julia isn't around to be in it, to at least voice Gomez. But I mean, it's a cartoon. The Addams have been cartoons before. It's not like you said, it's not like the 90s movies are the only one. That's just the one that we're all nostalgic for because we saw them when we were kids.
Also, this argument is stupid because it would defeat any reboot of a franchise. I mean, this is like, oh no, you can't do a new Spider-Man without Tobey Maguire. Ooh, and he was not the first one either, so... And Tom Holland is better. Take this.
Yes. I may have a bias towards this because I didn't grow up with Addams Family Values in the 90s movies. I grew up with the original 1964 Addams Family black and white TV show. I used to watch that on what was it? Was it Nick at Night or Disney After Dark or whatever it was? It may have been Nick at Night or TV Land or something like that. It might have been TV Land. But I grew up with that and the old cartoons from the 60s and from the 70s and 80s, like that, because I don't know why. It seems like I just skipped a generation of media when I grew up. But I grew up with that stuff, so this reminds me of that level, and it's just it feels so kooky and fun, and it doesn't feel like a fucking animated movie that we've seen in a while. And I think maybe that's also why I like it, because it's just, I'm kind of getting tired of the usual Illumination tropes and Disney tropes and DreamWorks things. And this kind of stuff, it's self-aware of the convention it kind of has to stick to and the tropes it has to stick to. There's a literal part where someone screams, "It's different," and that scares me. And it's just on the nose enough that you're just like, I can appreciate that self-awareness. It takes, when I could say, it does the whole Minion thing correctly. Because Cousin It's voice is basically a minion, where it's just talking gibberish as a gag. And it works, because they know when enough is enough. Also, the movie is short. It's just under 90 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Fucking It Chapter 2. Stop making 3-hour-long movies! Yeah. When you don't need them to be. It worked with The Lord of the Rings. Not every single movie has to be 3 hours long. It worked with Lord of the Rings, and it worked with Endgame. Yeah. You don't need them for every single movie. But speaking of Snoop Dogg, if you like hearing Snoop Dogg voice act, there is a movie out there, you might have seen it, called Volcano High. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a Korean film about this kid who goes, all of the kids at this high school have superpowers and they're all fighting and everything. And it's pretty generic plot, but once they brought it over to America, instead of hiring actual voice actors, they hired rappers. So Andre 3000 is
pretty
character.
obvious there.
And Snoop Dogg is like the Grand Master. Yeah, there you go, that one. And,
Look at that cheeky guy on the right-hand side.
I think Lil Jon is the bad guy in the movie. It's great. Like, it was perfect casting choices.
But it's so weird. So they took the original. So you only hear the voices of the rappers, right?
Yeah, it's dubbed over. They're speaking Korean in the original movie.
So you actually see this kung fu action movie, but on the posters they make such a big deal out of the voice actors that more than half or a third of the poster is just.
It says where martial arts meets hip hop, man.
Yeah,
like
but
they gotta show what's fusing.
If they didn't do that, then they never would have sold it to anybody in America. It would have just been another weird martial arts film.
But yeah,
I see this also backfiring. Like they people go in and are like,
that
oh,
the people
I want to
actually be in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
but this is what the movie looks like. Also, it looks amazing with those. Ooh, we are so evil. We are wearing our school uniforms. I have seen enough anime to know where this is going.
But yeah, back to Addams Family.
Oh yeah, wait, can I still find it?
I basically
Yes.
I recommend this to anyone. I think this is also good if you've never watched Addams Family before, because they introduced the concept of them being weird, kooky people very, very immediately and with good establishment. So I don't think you need to do a lot of Addams Family homework to get into it.
From what I hear, it actually sounds so that you are better off watching it without being familiar with the 90s movies, because otherwise it's so different.
Exactly. But no, I would say, like, yeah, I feel like this is just I'm not going to say it's one of the best movies I've seen this year. It definitely isn't. There's flaws, but...
And I mean, Spies in Disguise is not out yet, so...
Yeah, obviously. But
through
like,
time and space, it's already better.
Yeah. I was entertained from beginning to end. And I can say for certain that there have been movies I've seen this year that don't get that distinction.
Right, this
so
year. I have still Mortal Engines at my worst example, and this was last year, so have I?
Yeah, but
I'm
just saying, like,
I reminisce
no,
about
it's just a
bad
fully
movies I've watched.
It's just a fully entertaining film. I think the people who don't like it are people who are really purists for the 90s film, and also people who just, I guess, don't like Macabre's surreal sense of humor, because it's also very non sequitur. A lot of the gags are visual gags, which makes sense because of who you're talking about.
It's a cartoon too, you know.
Yeah, but if you're someone that likes more dialogue driven, heart provoking stuff, you know, this isn't your movie. I mean, it has a family value, haha, but like, and that you can obviously tell there's heart put into the movie, but it's not a movie that I would say that is super heartfelt, if that makes sense. And that's not their main prerogative. Their main prerogative is to have a fucking good time.
Sounds
that's
like
good.
Good, yeah.
There's way too many movies out there that take themselves way too seriously, and they're trying to like make a statement or something like that. Like, that's kind of why I got tired of the Marvel movies, because they just started taking themselves way too seriously, and it wasn't really fun anymore.
I mean, they basically have a whole bar mitzvah dance scene with bombs and explosives. This movie is awesome, but. Yeah, so that's my media. I actually went to the cinema for once.
Yeah, and I didn't.
And I tried taking a cinema selfie, but the poster was like 2 stories above me, and I tried. And Max made fun of me.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, first of all, because you basically presented the Frozen poster instead.
I pointed up.
It looked like Will Smith presenting. No.
Frozen 2 ain't even out yet.
But you know what your worst flaw is? I wish I could show the photo, but I don't have it on my computer.
Hold on, hold on. I'll send it. I'll send it. I have WhatsApp on my desktop.
That's good because then I can explain your failure in detail.
Oh God, am I going to get a selfie critique?
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh, yay! I'm so happy about that.
I know you're looking forward to this. I mean, we don't have a lot of questions today, so...
Yeah, that's what we're
we can
filling out
use the
time.
We are filling up time with this one.
Here, enjoy it. You have to download it off Skype, you bastard.
Nah, I do it like this. So first things first. Why you already failed? It's not a selfie. You got Lauren to take the picture. And you know what?
I tried to take it as a selfie,
And you
but
want
here's
to
also
know
the thing.
the ironic part. As a selfie, it could have worked.
How?
Because you would have then just moved a few feet away from this wall, angle your phone that it is your face, and then the right poster right behind you. How we do it
You
every
mean what you
time.
do?
Yes, how we do it every time when we are going to the cinema here. And there's also
Yeah,
the
but
thing
I wanted
file.
to. But okay, one, I didn't think about that. Two,
Obviously.
Two, this movie theater was weird because they only had this wall of digital marquees, and then they would disappear and show weird like landscape shots, and they would and it would filter through it in like 2 minutes. So I kept trying to take the selfie myself, and then Lauren was like, "Chrissy, we need to get to the movie. I'll just take the picture," and she just. So I just was like, "Fine, here, do it." But also. Hey, you could also see that Arctic Dogs movie right on the left-hand corner.
Oh yeah.
that I was.
Oh
that
wait,
I was
I
going,
actually have seen a trailer for that. I believe I saw it.
It looks
before...
awful.
I believe I saw the trailer before I saw Toy Story 4, because I saw Toy Story 4 in the US, so I saw US exclusive trailers.
It looks awful. But no, and then of course we have cats right next to me, so that's just whatever.
That's
but no,
unfortunate.
Yeah, here's the other thing though. Like, I kind of should have just taken a picture of one of the things it kept flashing to, because it kept flashing to this illustration that's apparently for a movie that's about Hitler's imaginary friend that causes him to become Hitler. Like, it's some kind of satirical. It's some kind of satirical movie that's coming out. Ask Lauren, because she explained it to me. Okay.
Is this like the producers or something like that?
Ooh, this sounds like very bad
okay, Jim.
taste.
Yes, last week I was talking about a musical that came out in England that's about the ex-wives of Henry VIII performing a concert to see who got the worst end of the stick from being a wife of Henry VIII. And I said, point blank, the subject matters of these musicals, because you have Hamilton, which is about a politician that gets shot, and the ex-wives of Henry VIII who died, got divorced, or got beheaded. We are getting closer to Springtime for Hitler becoming an unironic musical with the source materials people are picking.
I mean, meanwhile, you've got people turning Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell into a Broadway show. Where people are actually having fun and, riding motorcycles on stage and stuff like that.
I found the movie!
Oh, you found the
It's
Hitler
called
movie.
It's called Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
Okay, yeah, then also...
It's actually directed by the person who made Ragnarok.
Oh, Tahiki Hiki. Oh,
It's written and directed by Watiti. But like it's
the trailer for that ends with "It's hard to be a Nazi these days." Are you serious?
Oh.
It's a satirical black comedy.
That is so dumb.
And it has Roman Griffin Davis portrays the title character, a Hitler youth who finds out his mother, Scarlett Johansson, is hiding a Jewish girl in their attic.
Oh no!
Is Stephen Merchantson going to be in this movie? Holy shit!
Oh no! And it's playing Smash Mouth in the beginning of the trailer. The beginning of the trailer, it's Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth is a good
oh my
choice.
God!
Smash Mouth is a good band. Or at least they were.
Oh no! I don't want to see this. What's happening?
Wait!
Oh no!
I need to see the beginning of this trailer now.
It still plays. It still plays throughout the trailer.
It's playing "I'm a Believer."
Yes.
And it's playing it in German.
Oh no!
That's a little bit weird.
It's like when the Beatles did like "I Want to Hold Your Hand."
Oh
in
wait, I
German,
didn't show
like
it to
that kind of
anybody.
thing.
Wait,
Sorry.
did Smash Mouth record the song, like the lyrics in German?
Yes,
Is it the same guy?
I think so. It sounds a lot like him.
Oh no!
When Oh, I want to see this movie now. Can we go see the Hitler movie?
Oh no! Why? This should not. No.
From the director for Ragnarok.
No.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that's amazing. You do know that they actually have to get licensing rights to say that they made certain movies. They have to ask Disney. Hey, can I say that I made this movie so so I could advertise my Hitler youth film?
No.
This is so wrong.
Oh yeah, I know that I'm a Believer is a cover, but still, it's using the beach version, like the beach ska music that Smash Mouth used.
That's right, Denim Ninja. It is originally a Monkeys song, I believe.
Yeah.
Which
Smash
makes
Mouth
it
did not read it.
so much. The layers of this are great. Oh yeah, his imaginary friend is Hitler.
Oh no.
Oh, Hitler is his imaginary friend.
I was wondering
Oh
why
my
Hitler
God.
is just hanging out with this little kid, but.
Wait, who's playing Hitler?
Oh no.
It's the director. It's Takeda.
Oh no! Wait, where's Hitler again?
Oh my God.
Oh no, it
This
is.
is insane.
Oh no!
I respect him. You know what? I respect that this Polynesian.
No, I haven't heard of this movie before.
You know, Polynesian Australian man is playing the German Fuhrer.
Oh no!
Oh my God! He describes it. I checked his Wikipedia. He describes himself as a Polynesian Jew.
Oh no! How is this happening?
I use ad block, Denim. I don't see ads.
Yeah,
oh
same.
my God! Let's all just leave this podcast and go find this movie.
When is it
Yeah,
out?
seriously,
When does
this
it?
is crazy.
Oh no!
I think Death Alchemist did ask a question earlier. Have you guys ever heard of Beastars or Doro Hedoro? Beastars sounds familiar, but I haven't heard of the other one. And I can't place Beastars right now.
I think isn't Beastars that thing that the person like bought an anime and like crappily redubbed it and put it on DVD?
You might be thinking of Ghost Stories.
Maybe. Wait, can this movie even air where you live, Max?
I'm checking just that. It came out just now in America.
Yeah, it came out like on the 18th.
Its a German release date is January 23rd, 2020.
Really?
Wow, they are really delaying that, baby.
You're welcome, Death Alchemist.
Oh. Anyways, my media was Addams Family. Go watch that. Especially since the box office for Addams Family has not been good. They just made over their budget.
At least I made the budget back.
It's aired since the 11th in the United States, but I don't think it's aired worldwide yet because I don't see an international release date because I just see, and I mean you just said it hasn't released in Germany yet, so I hope it'll be one of those kind of like Book of Life Pacific Rim situations where it does a lot better in other places, except
Pacific Rim didn't do well in the U.S.
No. The only reason it got a sequel was because it did really well overseas.
That's absolutely insane. Pacific Rim was amazing.
Yes, and then Pacific Rim 2 was not. But like,
I haven't seen it yet.
Here's the thing, though. I have a feeling that Addams Family will not do good overseas simply because one of the biggest box office places that would be overseas is China. China has a strict policy against ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Religion.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know if there's no, like, full-on ghost in the movie that they explicitly call a ghost, so maybe they could get away with it, but who knows? But I really hope. Who knows? Just go see it. Go see it. Give support to a good animated film that's not Disney.
And now,
if they don't edit it and kowtow to Chinese censorship, then I'll buy 4 copies of it and give it to family members and friends.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I will see it next week. So once
it is now question time. It's the Q&A because man, we fell off like a train track.
We did.
The Hitler movie kind of derailed
Exactly.
stuff.
Hitler just came in and swiped us all away in his
Oh,
glory.
Hitler.
Yeah,
Man,
never.
Rascal.
What if they delayed the release in Germany for that movie to be September 1st? You know, when they invaded Poland.
Oh God.
Ooh.
You know, Max's birthday. Anyways, question.
Yeah, questions. I have none on Twitter, so it's all you.
Okay,
you
and
have
we
the
only have a
stage.
few, on Discord.
That's
so,
true.
to be honest, we went off the rails so much this podcast,
good.
but it's still not one of the longest shows
Yes,
we've done.
yes. But we started
Okay,
a bit late,
so-
so.
Yeah, that's true. So, you know, going into the horror thing, this is specific. J-Rog asks, what's your favorite classic horror movie? Now, I know the definition of classic is kind of subjective, so let's say before the turn of the millennium, so before the year 2000.
Okay, let me check. When did Cabin in the Woods come
Which
out
still
again?
means, which still
that's
would
past
mean, like, even if you pick something from
2000.
1999, it's over 20 years old. God, I don't like thinking about that.
Oh
Classic
God, I'm an
horror
old man.
movie.
I'm an old man. Except I'm not a man.
And not old.
I'm old at heart.
For my money,
And a man.
Phantasm. I would say The Thing, but if you want to get into like really classic horror movies, Phantasm did come out first, and it is way. It's almost as creepy as The Thing without all of the wild special effects. Coscarelli put it together on almost nothing. If any of you guys out there have seen, what's it called? John Dies at the End. It's the same director. This was like his first movie or so. And yeah, it's about this kid whose brother's friend dies, and his brother is about to leave town and ship him off to live with relatives or something, and they find out that somebody has been stealing the bodies in town, and it turns out it's the caretaker for the graveyard, the guy who puts on the funeral services, the Undertaker, basically. It's this big, creepy-looking, tall dude. Yeah, the whole movie is about them trying to figure out what this guy is doing, and he turns out to be this, like, alien from another dimension, and the whole movie may or may not be a dream that this kid had, but if it did, it was one hell of a dream, because it went on for 4 more movies. And apart from movie 2,
He's just in a coma.
they kept the exact same cast for all of the movies. Like, the kid from the first movie got into a car accident or something, and he was, like, in hospital while they were making the second movie, so they hired somebody else to play him. But apart from that, they bring him back in the third movie, and all of the rest of the cast is exactly the same, and they just barely finished the series before the guy playing the Undertaker character, the alien monster guy, died. Like, he must have been in his 90s or something when they finished this movie, because it's been going from, like, 78 till, like, 2014, I think, was when the 5th movie came out. So yeah, it's a really good series of movies, highly recommended. Probably one of the best horror series ever made.
Cool. What about you, Max? I'm sure you've watched something that happened before the turn of the century.
Yes, I'm currently checking. Top candidates so far would be no, not
He's
because
just
I
mad
haven't.
because he can't pick Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm also trying to figure out dates of movies. Hey, you had a better thing earlier.
I'll stall for you.
That's good.
Actually, one of my favorite horror movies, besides Misery would be the easy option to pick.
Oh, Misery's a really good one. Misery,
in my opinion, and my opinion is obviously right. I can't say that with a straight face. My opinion is that Misery is probably the best adaptation of a Stephen King book as an adaptation, and also probably the best Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
Because I know everyone will be like, Shining. Shining is a terrible adaptation.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. Like the Jack Nicholson Shining, they actually made another one like in the mid 2000s that sticks way closer to the book.
Yeah, and
Where
I
Stephen
personally really
actually
like the
fit.
miniseries too. Everyone really hates on that miniseries because the Nostalgia Critic reviewed it, and everyone hops on a bandwagon because a comedy reviewer says something.
I liked it. I thought it was good.
I liked it too. But no, I love Misery, but one of my favorite horror movies that is totally a classic is actually one that I don't think a lot of people have seen, but you need to thank this movie for a lot of the horror movies we have now, which is called The Last House on the Left from 1972.
Ooh, I haven't seen this one, but I know it by reputation.
Which is one of the first films made by Wes Craven. And if you don't know who Wes Craven is,
shame on you.
Shame on you. He is the creator of Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream.
Apparently
and The Hills Have Eyes.
Apparently there is a remake from 2009, which
it's not good. Don't watch it.
Which kind of takes over the. Oh, that's probably the right one. 72, you said?
1972.
Yeah.
No, the fucking 2014 movie is awful because they let one of the girls live, and it's like that totally ruins half of the fucking movie. But no, yeah, The Last House on the Left is like one of those classic exploitation horror films, and it is it was known for being so
one of the
dark.
One of the movie posters actually looks a little like a newspaper article or something.
Yes, because but the thing is, like, they actually had to cut so much on the film so it can be shown in theaters that because one of the scenes, one of the most which I guess this is the warning for people who want to watch it. One of the most iconic scenes in it is that they have
spoilers?
a scene where no.
Okay.
It is a gory horror movie. There's going to be gore in it.
Okay.
One of the murderers pulls out one of the girl's intestines, which they achieved by like putting I think it was they just filled like pantyhose with like some kind of liquid substance, and in practical effect it looked fucking creepy. And the disemboweled intestines were actually fake intestines made with condoms filled with fake blood and sand.
Nice.
Because the movie was made on like a fucking shoestring budget, which makes it even creepier because it's shot like a little bit too unclean to not seem real. Which I love films like that, and too many horror films these days are so polished that you lose some of the creepiness about it.
Yeah, it smells too corporate.
But found footage movies ruin that, so thanks. But yeah, that's my choice.
Okay, so I guess my list of horror movies, because I'm not too deep into the franchise, will be like, does this count? No. Okay, does this count? No. Okay. So, my number one, does this count? Army of Darkness?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, my first one is already a success and I don't need to go down the list. No, but Army of Darkness I actually watched multiple times up and down, which probably makes it easily my favorite horror movie, if it counts as a horror movie.
I don't count it as a horror movie.
Army
it's a
of Darkness
comedy
is
movie.
technically a horror comedy, but the first two Evil Dead movies are horror movies, so it's in a horror trilogy, and it does have horrific stuff happening in it. So
I mean, this is the problem. I believe all of my lists are horror comedies. So number 2 would have been Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. Does this count as a horror movie?
I don't know when Johnny Depp didn't get really big until like the mid 2000s, so probably not.
But it's kind of comedy-esque, and I mean there is decapitations and whatnot. Okay, and the next one on my
Is that the one where like fucking Christopher Walken is the headless horseman?
Yes.
I'm not counting that.
Okay,
That's
my
great.
number 3, The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox, which is also a horror comedy.
That counts. All of these are horror comedies.
I know.
Do you just not watch straight up horror movies?
Rarely, or at least I don't go back.
Do you not have the
rewatch.
attention span to watch those?
Yeah,
we might just have to let him work a horror comedy in here.
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean, even Cabin in the Woods is a kind of a comedy.
I count Cabin in the Woods more than.
But it's not a classic
Sleepy
one.
Hollow.
So it doesn't.
I mean, Cabin in the Woods does have a unicorn impaling a dude.
It's true. And it has a tooth
And that
fairy,
was
which
pretty
is
dope.
also actually pretty nasty looking. Anyways, we found an answer for the question eventually. Moving on.
Okay,
next question.
Let's see. From Aiming for the Head asks, who do you never change?
But he changes
Hipster
every
time.
week.
I know. Hipster time. What's the what's that thing you've enjoyed for a long while and now get annoyed because others pretend to be into it because it's trendy? What is that thing you liked before people liked?
Cartoons.
Oh,
Then again,
I probably would have said the same thing. Cartoons.
Then again, I probably have the issue that simply the people I'm around with switch because or change because back in the day in college and in school when I was forced to hang out more with the normies, they would look down on it. But now, majority of my friends are not ashamed of watching cartoons as adults. So it probably is just a subjective thing and not really. So let me think of something better.
I mean, like most
answer.
people can say there's a phenomenon where there's like that phase that goes into like your 20s where you don't accept things that are regarded as childish because you want to put on the illusion of adulthood, and then you realize you don't give a shit anymore.
But here's the thing: enough adults in my generation or above actually are like cartoons, video games. I don't get it. They really don't get it. As in legitimate, it has nothing to do with. They really are completely on the mindset that cartoons and video games are just for children.
Yeah, it's a weird dumb thing. But I know that people genuinely like it now, but I think like I liked the Steven Universe from the very beginning, and then people only started to like it when and then started to do the thing where they would only watch the episodes that would fit with the storyline and like skip half of the first season, but they would be like, oh, I'm like the biggest massive Steven Universe fan. Did you watch this episode? Nope. It's like, don't say that you're the most massive of something. The thing is, I sound like a gatekeeper. I'm happy people like the show now and appreciate it for what it is, but it's still just the thing of, I liked it before it was cool. Fuck you.
I'm gonna say D&D, because there was this period of time where in the 80s, and I wasn't around for this, but D&D was very like taboo, and there were all kinds of Christian groups saying that it was satanic and that it would corrupt your children, and that of course led it to getting like fairly popular, and a lot of people were playing the game, and it was kind of a cultural touchstone in the 80s, and it got a cartoon, and then it just kind of like died out when TSR went insane.
And then Critical Role happened.
Yes, and I don't care if I sound like a gatekeeper. I do not like Critical Role.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can sit there and watch it because the people are entertaining, but that is not Dungeons and Dragons. That is WWE D&D. It is a show.
What a claim.
They are actors.
And all the viewership for our stream just went away.
Yeah, everybody cuts out. No, I don't have a problem with like them as people, because I like Matt Mercer. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. He's a Chad. He's DM'd for a long time. He knows what he's doing. But like I say, they're all actors. They're hamming it up for the camera. They probably have a general storyline that they're all going along with, like action beats instead of a script, and then they all just like fill in what happens around the dice rolls.
There's not the magic of improv that usually happens with a D&D game.
Yeah, it's more structured, and it smells corporate to me. Like, I know that WotC has their fingers in that somewhere. I just can't say where, because I don't really feel like digging for it. I don't care that much. I get this snifter about it. But yeah, and Critical Role has also brought a lot of like weird expectations where people will think that the game runs like an episode of Critical Role, and then they get into a game and it doesn't, and they get really pissy about it, or they just never play again. So it sets. And that's not exactly Mercer's fault.
So Jim,
that's happened for years.
You would say it creates a better expectation for people new to D&D to binge watch all of Stranger Things, right?
I don't know. I don't watch Stranger Things. But I would say if you want to get into D&D, go down to find your local game store and go down there and say, hey, do you guys run Adventures League? Because Wizards of the Coast, as much as I don't like that company, they do publish materials that they will ship to game stores that run the Adventures League thing, and you can just walk in and sit down, and they will, like, I don't know if you have to buy dice or if they'll let you borrow some for a game if you're just looking. that you can just like sit in on a game with a few people. There's a guy there who's GMing, and that's like what he does here. He's volunteered to run this thing, and you can just sit in and see if you like it, that kind of thing. But don't watch Critical Role if you're trying to get a good idea of what Dungeons and Dragons.
I want to end this before the Critical Role stands
I just wanted to say, you probably should, Jim. You probably should avoid ever meeting Denim Ninja in real life because she has a black belt and is not happy right now.
And probably
British
Kichi
Ninja,
and everyone that we know.
Chuggle, Kichi, British Ninja.
Yeah,
boy.
I like it better when they're not tied to Geek and Sundry. I will say that. I have watched the first campaign, so it entertained me, but I'm not watching it because it's people playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm watching it because these people are actors and they're entertaining to watch and listen to. They're funny.
Anyways, next question.
It's a good show.
It's enough for me.
It's a good show, but it's bad for the hobby. That's the way I would put it.
So...
Next question. Would you rather...
Talking about Denim.
Would you rather spend the night alone in a haunted house or spend the day with someone in one of those soup.mp4 costumes silently following you around? And then I commented back, good question.
Haunted house.
Why? You have to explain your decision.
Why? Is the soup.mp4 thing that terrifying?
I don't like having people follow me, and I get nervous and jumpy when I think people are following me, and that guy might get hurt. Like, I might turn around and he's standing right behind me, and I accidentally, like, punch him in the goobers or something.
Here's the thing. I kind of want to be the person in the soup.mp4 costume. What? That sounds like the best job ever! If someone came up to you and was like, here's $50, I need you to follow that Max Cybert around in one of those soup.mp4 costumes the entire day, I would fucking take that in a minute!
I appreciate that we can peacefully disagree, Denim Ninja.
Yeah, but no, but here's the thing, would I want someone else to follow me in that costume? Would they run at me like in that second clip? I don't know.
So you would also go for the haunted house, you're saying?
Ghosts aren't real, so yes.
Well...
what about you? Are you going to be the contrarian?
Of course I'm going to be the contrarian. Would be boring otherwise. No, I mean... Haunted house, I mean, on the one hand, I would like to go into a haunted house, so this is with the would you rather, but let's assume that I don't want to go there, because otherwise it's like very straightforward and obvious. Like, if I want to do one thing of the would you rather, then I actually will choose it over the other. No,
yeah, but okay, the soup.mp4.
I have been to enough brony conventions where I'm known and have creepy people silently following me around in in all honesty, it would be an improvement to put this kind of mask on them. At least then I know that they are supposed to be creepy.
Is it bad that I'm imagining you being the crying soup man, but instead of the soup.mp4 costumes, it's those fucking giant pony fursuits?
Hey, I know those guys personally.
I know, but I'm just saying, that is an amazing mental image I just received, and it's now replaced the Hitler imaginary friend in my head.
You're welcome.
Okay, next question. Here's one that's not horrifying.
Oh.
And won't cause fights. What's your favorite food to... Aiming for the Head asks again, what's your favorite food to eat during a rainy day? What is rain?
Fucking Californian.
Hey, no, we both know that rain happens. It just apparently likes to happen on my birthday, because... Oh yeah, to explain, on my 21st birthday when we went to like a bunch of theme parks, like 2 out of the 3 days it rained. The day, apparently California was like, you know what's a good day to rain? March 10th and 11th. While everyone's in the uncovered land of Universal, and Chrissy's wearing shoes with no socks.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Nice.
But
yeah, I had to go and sit in the tub and get my blood circulation back to my calves because my whole jeans was like soaking wet. Oh, good times.
Okay, but here's the thing. So favorite food during a rainy day. Now, cold, like autumn rainy day, or a nice summer
Cold.
fun?
I feel like
should
since
be
we're
the
in
cold
the
one,
season
okay.
of autumn, it should be cold.
Sounds fair, because for a summer one, my answer would have been very different. A cold, rainy day, favorite food. I'm trying to get off coffee right now, but it probably would just be a nice, warm cup of coffee.
Just make it decaf. Decaf coffee tastes the same as caffeinated coffee. You get the taste, but with no jitters.
It's true.
I'm with Henry Rollins on that one. If you're drinking decaf coffee, you might as well already be dead.
But yeah.
I've had to drink my share of decaf because I have a coffee problem.
Other answers?
So mine, it would be a cup of coffee for me.
Oh.
I make it black, put a little bit of I think it's called like agave nectar. It's some kind of like toned down sugar, so I don't get like the sugar jitters anymore. But yeah, just black coffee.
I mean, there is a...
Okay, I know one that here's the thing. I don't have enough rainy days to really signify a food. But the thing is, I have a memory of a food that I ate on a rainy day, and it's a very pleasant food memory.
Sure,
And it was, it was when I was visiting you and we went out for lunch and it was just the weather decided to be evil and we were running to that German food place because it was so damn cold.
Which one did we run to? I don't
I
even
had
know.
it was like a slightly modern one, and then we spent a very considerable amount of time trying to figure out which employee that you worked with was also there. But I had like a dish that was like mashed potatoes and peas and some kind of meat and stuff.
That sounds delicious.
Oh, I know which place. You mean Mirika?
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, we ate there.
Yeah.
And we were just happy to get out of the goddamn cold because we were running in utter agony. And that was a pleasant thing, and I would like to eat that again. And it seems, and now I associate that with cold, miserable weather.
Oh, that's an
line
for the advertisement.
I mean, I guess besides that, soup. I like soup, and so just simple simple chicken soup or chicken ramen. Eat that on a cold day.
Death Alchemist had another one. His was death by chocolate or death by hugs. I'm gonna go with chocolate.
Is death by hugs technically suffocation?
I think so.
Or would your ribs just be crushed and it would impale your organs and you would bleed internally?
That question got morbid.
Yeah.
But death by chocolate is just simply either dying of malnutrition or getting diabetes. So that's just a long game there. So I would do death by hugs. Seems like the quicker option.
Depends on who's hugging. That's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, tomato soup is a good one. Grilled cheese
Tomato soup
sandwich,
is a
not
good
really.
I'm not a huge fan of cheese, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Chocolate or the hugs. This is really, really a hard one. How
One
about
requires
we moving
physical
on?
contact, the other is sweet. Let's see. There's not really any other questions, so I guess we go to our final thing of the night.
Exactly.
Thing. Here is our favorite segment of the cast, the final segment of the cast. So, Enigma asks, creepy creatures are always lurking about, and as we draw closer and closer to Halloween by the day, we have to confront such spooks and specters in our own form and fashion, and one way to accomplish this is with a ghoulish demonstration of, God, I can't wait till Halloween is over and we get done with these monster questions. A ghoulish demonstration of fuck, marry, kill. Zombie, ghost, demon.
What
Now
was
these
it
are some
last
plausible
week?
and classic creatures and such.
Oh, last
I
week was
hope you get
Freddy.
some Freddy, Jason, and Michael.
Yeah.
But some treating and others some nice tricking. Okay, I feel like all of our answers will be fuck the demon. just saying.
Oh wow, it's like you're in my head.
Damn it.
Who doesn't want to fuck a demon?
I mean, succubi and incubi are a thing. They are
They are literally sex demons.
Exactly. This
And
would be
I'm a
hard-
huge proponent of the monster girl phenomenon that's cropped up recently. So,
Exactly.
yeah, fuck would
But,
probably be the demon for me.
But okay,
Kill,
so
kill the zombie and then marry the ghost because the ghost will always be there for you because they are haunting you. So you might as well make it
okay.
official.
We got Jim's answer.
Okay, Key.
Okay, I can't. How do I gold dig this? Can the ghost be rich? Can the ghost be like the ghost of the Monopoly Man? No. Okay, for serious. So fuck the demon, cause I feel like they're into some crazy shit.
That would probably be a wild night.
Oh, it would, but I wouldn't want to marry that because I just feel like that. I mean, it's a demon. Let's just put that into perspective. I don't think there's the level of trust in that commitment. Also, I don't think demons would be the marrying type. So,
That's a good point.
but neither am I. So maybe I'm a demon. But like, no. You know what? I gotta do something different than Jim. So I'm going to kill the ghost, cause the ghost. I mean, ghosts are basically people who are stuck in limbo. So I'm just helping them along. It's a mercy killing. And just saying, what kind of marriage would it be? If it goes by some levels of ghost logic, you can't touch them. Like, you can't hold their hand.
And you marry the zombie?
Yeah!
Wow.
You know?
I'm interested in hearing that
They
explanation.
they may not have brains, but they may still have a heart. That sounds like the line of some, like, young adult novel. Like...
Oh, wait, there's actually this... What's the name of this movie? There's this horror comedy.
Yeah, isn't there a horror comedy where the
About
girl
a
has, like, a
zombie.
zombie boyfriend?
Yes.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Zombie boyfriend movie.
I mean, I've seen it around. I haven't watched this movie.
Warm Bodies.
Oh,
Warm Bodies,
I
that
was
was
thinking
it,
about Fido.
That's
I
a
don't think
name
I've
of
heard
a
of that one.
dog.
Yeah, but it's about... I mean, Fido is also a fun one, so... It's also about... Basically, they have an actual zombie apocalypse. So, humans now live in sheltered, in little gated communities. A little bit like Attack on Titan. However, they still keep zombies as pets inside those communities. And one desperate housewife falls in love with their pet zombie.
I know this movie now because it has the whole thing like you can cut your head off and then you wouldn't turn into a zombie immediately after dying or something like that.
I
remember.
I believe
I've
I
seen this
haven't even
movie.
watched it, but I know about it. But yeah, Fido.
I saw it on like some. Yeah, no,
But yeah.
I found another one called My Boyfriend's Back,
So
which is about
basically-
a kid.
Oh.
Yeah.
But basically, you are the woman from Fido, the housewife from Fido.
I
marrying
guess,
the
yeah.
zombie.
Or maybe I'm the girlfriend of this person from this 1993 movie called called My Boyfriend's Back from 1993 about this guy named Johnny Dingle who arranges a fake robbery in the store to ask a girl to prom, but then gets shot by a real robber, then comes back to life as a zombie to try to reintegrate into society. Matthew McConaughey and Philip Seymour Hoffman have roles in this film. We've been finding a lot of treasure today. But yeah, so I would marry the zombie.
So, to stay...
Can
It's
you
up
guys
to
hear
you
that?
now.
Yes,
Can you guys hear that dog?
I hear a dog barking, but it's very
A
far
little
away,
bit?
so it's cool.
It's very
Okay,
faint.
so to be the contrarian, I will pull out another answer out of my ass that nobody has used yet. I will not be able to
Okay.
kill the succubus, obviously.
All right, I'm gonna have to go. Like my brother just got back. That's why the dog is barking, and I need to go let the dog outside. So yeah, I will be right back. Stand by.
No, it's fine. Go right
Sorry
ahead.
about this.
Okay,
It's fine. Don't worry.
now we have to stall the
I
end
thought
of
he
the
was
show.
going to say, sorry, gotta end the call.
Yeah, but now we have to stall the end of the show.
Yeah.
But no.
Do you want to hear more about My Boyfriend's Back from 1993?
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to hear more about that. Now I'm just looking up Joji Rabbit again because this movie.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh,
What?
no! I was like, what is this weird thing? Like I googled for zombie zombie comedy. Or horror comedy, and what I did was I clicked on Zombiebers. And it's
Okay,
so
sorry about
bad
that.
and so
Wait, are they
gross.
zombie? Are they
Zombie
zombie
beavers? Yes, and they are the cheapest ever.
We're staying over there.
I need to. Okay, well, I want to see these beavers. All I'm seeing are half-naked ladies
Wait, do we?
and a dog.
Oh, this is one of those shots where you get the perspective, like from the
Okay.
camera point of view. There.
Half-naked lady. Yeah! Oh my god!
Oh, and it's still alive because it's a zombie beaver.
Oh wow, that is a horrible puppet.
Yes.
Might be more beavers.
And they're making fun of her. But
Is that blood?
there! More beavers.
Oh my
ah!
god. Don't. No! They killed the dog!
Of course they did.
Okay. We all know why they did that shot.
Yeah, I just caught. Sorry, I'm watching it on the stream. I just caught up with what you were talking about.
Yeah, Zombievers is horrible. I recall watching it and it's actually just bad. Anyway, so my contrarian
Anyway, yeah,
answer
you're
to fuck, marry, and
FMK.
kill. Exactly. So obviously I cannot kill the succubus. So to be the contrarian, I now have to marry the succubus. I mean, let's be honest, guys. What else is a marriage than selling away your soul anyways? Hey-oh!
Fair point.
Yeah.
So now I also so now I have the free reign who I want to fuck. I don't really want to have squishy rotten meat, so I will just kill the zombie. Thank you very much. He is not a good conversationalist and everything.
Why
so-
is the zombie a he in this scenario?
or a she, or whatever. It's like, no, thank you. However, ghost. I want to fuck this ghost simply so I know how it's possible. I mean, how do you fuck a ghost?
I hear
This is a
Patrick Swayze
question-
has a movie about that.
Yeah, but then
This
he
is
just,
a question
but
that
he
I've
just,
had conversations
but
about.
he just possesses a human out of flesh. So I mean, if this works, I guess. But if we are not talking possession, how do you fuck a ghost? I mean, is it basically you lie down and then you have the ectoplasm on you, and it's just this weird feeling like air, but not substance, but maybe? I mean, this question will keep me up all night, guys. I mean, how do you fuck a ghost? And I want to find it out, so I choose the ghost.
I'm
Well,
thinking
my
of the
answer.
Dan
Now we-
Aykroyd scene from Ghostbusters with the
Ghostbusters.
ghost that gives him the blowjob.
Well, now we know why A&Y wants to go to haunted houses.
Hey!
Haunted brothels.
I will not even lie. And I don't care if this makes anybody feel awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Hard work and analysis, which you do not